Welcome, students, to the science class. We are learning now the chapter 7 of your book, that is the plant adaptation. Today, we will learn about some more adaptive features because yesterday already we had learned about the terrestrial plants, on which we had learned the adaptation which is shown by the plants which are in the mountains and plants which are in the plains. Okay. So we are starting with the plants which are grown in the hot and wet places. Okay. Now the plants which are growing in the hot and wet places, say for example, what are the hot and wet place? That is maybe the sea coast. They need not shed their leaves as they have plenty of sunlight and water throughout the year. Okay, they remain green throughout the year, and we are called them as evergreen plants. Say for example, the coconut plant, sugarcane plant, plum, pepper, rubber tree, etc., can grow in this hot and dry places, and so they have green in color in their leaves. Okay, so they are called the evergreen plants. Now, in this context, I must share you a very good thing, that is a habitat, may be big or small. It provides a living thing with all basic needs, that is the air, water, food, shelter, protection, everything. So a living thing, that is the habitat of a living thing. It does not mean that if it is small it won't provide the necessary things for life. Only it can provide if it is big. No, habitat may be big, may be small, but they will keep on providing all necessary things which are required for their living. Okay, so a forest, in that context, we must tell that a forest can be an habitat of a lion. Okay, but a small plant is the habitat of insect. So here what we can say is, as lion are living in the forest, so it is not necessary that lion will only get the necessary requirement for life, but the insect are living in the small tree, so insect will not get anything required for life. It does not depend upon the area of the habitat, whether it is big or small. It only depends upon the, like, it has the work, it has the ability to provide the necessary matter which are required for living to the animals or the plants which on which they are there. The place is habitat for those organisms. Okay, similarly, so we had seen here as an example, although lion is a big animal, it lives in the big forest, so it is getting all the necessary requirements for life, that is okay. But at the same time, insects, maybe insect is very small, it is getting in a habitat, or it is harboring a single plant or a single leaf, but also it is getting all the necessary requirement for the life. Here you can see different types of habitats, and also the plants which are growing in the hills have a strong smell to keep insects away. This is a peculiar thing. In order to Which are the plants which are growing in the hills, they have a strong smell which can keep the insects away. And also the some of the here also interesting another fact I must tell you, that is, the tallest plant in the world are the redwood, that grow to a height of about 300 feet. See, this is such an interesting fact. These are the redwood plants. So these are tallest, and they can grow up to a height of 300 feet. See, next one is the plants which are growing in the desert. Now, plants which are growing in the desert, they are getting very less amount of water, and here habitat is peculiar, that is they have a very high temperature and the very short water content. Okay, so this is the plant which are grown in the desert. Can you be able to tell the name of the plant? Yes, this is the cactus. Okay, so this type of plants grow in the desert. Now these plants, they have adapted to overcome the shortage of water in the following ways. So shortage of the water has to be overcome. So how can they be overcome? They can be overcome by the following ways. First of all, leaves are changed into spines. Why they are changed into spines? To reduce the loss of water. You can see here the reduction of the loss of water could be done because the leaves are all modified into spines. This is the peculiarity of the desert plant, because had the leaves are like leaves, then there would be transpiration and too much loss of water. To reduce the loss of water, they had converted into spines. And also stem is green and fleshy so that they can be able to perform the photosynthesis. See, the stems photosynthesis are generally being performed by the leaves, but the leaves here is transformed into spine. So but the photosynthesis has to be carried out, otherwise, because this is the source of food. So what is the role, or what is the this how this problem be overcome? The plants are having the stems which are fleshy and which are be able to produce or perform the function of photosynthesis. Okay, so and also this is another factor, this you can see the roots of these plants also can go deep down. They can go very deep into the soil to take in the water from the soil. This is why desert plants are able to absorb water even when there is very little rainfall, because their pattern of construction is that their roots are very long, and also roots are very they can go up to very deep to take the water from the soil. So desert plants can absorb water even when there is very less or very little rainfall. Okay, so in this context we can give example to the cactus and the prickly pear. See how the leaves are modified into I can show you how these leaves are modified into spine. Okay, and how the stems are fleshy, which can carry out photosynthesis. This is the stem, these are all stems because already their leaves are carried out into spines. Okay, so these leaves are carrying out photosynthesis action. Okay, so in this context, I must tell you one thing. When it rains, a cactus can absorb a lot of water and swells up like a sponge. See? Okay, so this is the small surface area in order to reduce the evaporation. Spines instead of leaves, and stems are fleshy, which can also carry out photosynthesis. At the same time, stems are also fleshy, which can store water. Here we can see oxygen can be absorbed and liberated during the byproduct of photosynthesis, and carbon dioxide can be absorbed. Water can be taken by these roots. Okay, and they can carry out photosynthesis, and when it rains, a cactus can absorb a lot of water and they can swell up as sponges. Okay, next, coming into the concept, that is the plants which can grow in marshy areas. In the marshy area, there is a characteristic that this area has got a very less air in the soil. Why is it so? Because marshy area means the area which is totally covered up with the water. See, so majority times this landmass is covered up with the water of high tide. So the roots of these plants majority time, I mean, in the soil are submerged with water, so gradually naturally they have less air. Now roots of these plants, they grow out of the soil and take in air from the atmosphere. Okay, so these are called the breathing roots. They can breathe from air. Okay, so examples here, you can see the roots again. The roots under the soil cannot stay because all the times this soil is submerged with water, so they don't have air. So these roots come up, these are known as the breathing roots or pneumatophore. They can take up the oxygen or for breathing, and these are known as the breathing roots. Now what is the examples? You can see this is the example of Rhizophora, Avicennia, mangrove, etc. If you go to southern part of Bengal, nearing Sundarban area, you can see this mangrove plantation because those sites are constantly inundated or submerged underwater. Very few time in a day they are without water. So the roots, if roots are there, they won't be able to survive because their air is very less in the soil as well as, so roots, in order to get the proper air, they come up, and these are called the breathing roots, and they have the ability to take the oxygen or air directly from the air. Okay, so this is known as the pneumatophore or breathing roots. Examples is the mangrove. So, today we had learned about the plants of the hot and wet places. They are evergreen example because they have a very good source of temperature as well as sunlight. Then we had example some the coconut tree. Then we had learnt about the desert plants, in which we had seen that in order to stay in the desert, how these plants leaves are modified into spines, so that to get the less amount of water, and so as to release less amount of water, and their leaves stems are fleshy and they are green, which can carry out photosynthesis. And next we had learned about the adaptive features of the plants which are staying in the marshy area. Because of the area is totally submerged with water, they have the roots, they cannot remain under the soil, they can come up, and they are known as the breathing roots, and they can take the air directly from the atmosphere. Okay, so we had learned this adaptation. Next class we will learn about the aquatic adaptation. Till then, all of you stay safe, stay well. Thank you.